So in this video, we are going to get some Signet Bitcoin into our Bitcoin core wallet, and we're going to make a transaction with that Signet Bitcoin. One of the annoying things about dealing with a currency rather than, say, an operating system like Linux is to do anything interesting, you do actually need to have some of that currency. And so test currencies like Testnet and Signet are really useful for this purpose. Now, there are a couple of prerequisites. There's this video on why you should be testing with Signet and why it's an improvement on Testnet. And there's also this video on getting set up running Bitcoin Core on a DigitalOcean droplet. So consider watching those before completing this exercise. Now, the way we're going to get some Signet Bitcoin is to use a faucet. The history of faucets is quite interesting. Core developer Gavin Andreessen launched a faucet back in 2010 that handed out 5 free Bitcoin to every visitor of that site. In today's money, that's 150,000 US dollars. So unfortunately, we can't go back in time and use that 2010 faucet. The best we can do in 2023 is to use a faucet that gives up to 0.01 Signet Bitcoin. And Signet is not worth anything, right? It's just a test currency for testing purposes. Okay, so we will, and this is rate limited, right? So I'm not sure how often you can keep requesting Signet, but it will stop you from requesting Signet repeatedly, right? But I haven't requested Signet in a few hours, so it should work for us in this video. Let's go into the terminal, and I've already SSH'd into my DigitalOcean droplet. We'll navigate to the Bitcoin directory and the source directory, and from here we can run the Bitcoin daemon in Signet mode. Okay, so that's the debug.log running for our Bitcoin Core Signet node. In this alternative tab, we'll also navigate to our source directory, and from here we're going to use the Bitcoin command line interface. So a useful command, if you're unsure on which command to use, is the help command. So you can just do help, and then it will show you all the possible commands that Bitcoin Core supports. It's also worth noting that if you forget to do that Signet flag, it will think that you're trying to do something on mainnet because you haven't given it the Signet flag, so it'll give you an error. Okay, so to use that faucet, we will need an address, and so we need to generate a Signet address. Now, the wallet commands are all here under the wallet heading, and there is this get new address command, but if we try that, it'll give us an error, and it says no wallet is loaded. So we will need to create a wallet before we can generate an address. So that's the create wallet command there. And we can do a help on that particular command. So we'll do, remember that Signet flag, and help create wallet, and then that gives us some guidance on how to use the create wallet command. Okay, so the easiest option is just to do something like that. So it will be Bitcoin CLI create wallet, and then we'll give it a name of test wallet. And so that's going to create a wallet. And so here, done the same mistake again, deliberate mistake, forgot that Signet flag. I'm trying to do a command on mainnet when I don't have the mainnet daemon running. So let's remove that Signet flag. Create wallet. Create wallet, test wallet. And that did spark a flurry of activity on our debug.log, but we should have a wallet created now, test wallet. There is a list wallets command, so we can do that. Now we can see our test wallet. Now, if we do a get balance, we can see that our wallet has 0 Signet Bitcoin. So we'll address that in a second. But now we have a wallet created and loaded. We can generate an address using that get new address command. And there we are. We've generated a new address. If we do the help on get new address, we can see that there are options to request a certain address type. So by default, it's generating a Betch32, so this is a SegWit address. If we wanted a taproot address, then we would use the Betch32M option. But for now, a SegWit version 0 address is fine. We'll copy and paste that address into the Signet faucet. So we've copied that, paste that into the faucet, and then it's between 0, so let's try getting the maximum 0.01, and then there's a captcha ONWS. Okay, so let's see if that works. Processing, taking a little longer than normal. Not sure why it's taking so long. Oh, okay. So that has seemed to work. We have a transaction ID here. So we can put that into a block explorer. So copy and paste what's happened there. I just want the transaction ID. Trouble copying and pasting this transaction ID. Anyway, there's our transaction ID. Copy and paste that into main.space. It wasn't found. Let's try it on Signet. This is the mempool.space in Signet mode. We'll put the transaction ID, copy and paste into there. And yeah, we have an unconfirmed transaction on mempool.space. We can see that segment isn't taproot. And that is our transaction. Now, because it's Signet, we can expect it to confirm on average every 10 minutes, so it'll take a while to confirm. But let's go back into the terminal and we will do a get balance now. And we can see that it's still 0, and this is because it's unconfirmed. There is an alternative command, get balances. Just to help on get balances. And there's a bunch of instructions there. Let's just run get balances. And we can see that we do have this untrusted pending amount for 0.01. And depending on how long it takes for a block to be mined, that won't become trusted in the time for this video. Perhaps it will, like we don't know. It's only on average every 10 minutes the block is mined. It could be a few seconds, it could be 20-30 minutes. So we can't actually send until, yeah, so let's try sending an amount using send to address. Now this is probably this is gonna fail because our transaction hasn't been confirmed to our Signet wallet yet. But let's get another Signet address. So we received Signet from that address. And so let's try sending it back. So there is a send to address command. So we'll just see the help on that. And we can see that there's various options for this send to address command. So you can give it the address, you can give it the amount, and you can also allocate a fee rate. There is this option to do it in named, so that you can actually say amount equals and fee rate equals. If you don't have that named there, then you'll just be putting the options in speech marks. But yeah, let's try sending to an address even though the funds that we've received haven't actually confirmed yet. So that would be, we'll do named, and we'll do an amount of, say, half of what we received, 0.05, and we'll do a fee rate of just, say, 1 satoshi per fee byte. And if we press enter, we'll get an error because the transaction hasn't confirmed yet. It says method not found. What have we done wrong here? Oh, we didn't do the send to address command. Okay, so lots of possibilities for mistyping. So we'll do named, we'll do send to address. Oh, we didn't even put the address in either. Okay, very dumb. So copy and paste. Let's copy and paste the address that we received the money from. And then we'll put the amounts equal to 0.005, and we'll do a fee rate of 1 Satoshi per V byte. I think that's all it would need. Okay, so let's press enter on that. Oh gosh, we didn't put the Signet flag either. Okay. Okay, so Signet flag named send to address, copied and paste that address, the amount, and the fee rate. And it says an insufficient funds, and that's because if we do get balances, we'll see that it's still untrusted, so we don't actually have any funds until it confirms. So we'll just go back to that transaction and we'll see that it's still unconfirmed. I'll stop the video and we'll come back when it is confirmed and just check that that send to address command works. Okay, so I'm back maybe 10-15 minutes after I stopped the video, and we can see that our Signet transaction sending Signet to an address that we generated, an address our Signet wallet controls, now has 2 confirmations. So we'll go back into the terminal, and to go to previous commands that we've typed, we can just do up. So we'll go up once and we'll see that there's our get balances command. We'll press enter on that and we can see that the 0.01 Bitcoin we requested from the faucet is no longer untrusted pending, it is now trusted. Okay, 2 confirmations, let's move to trusted. Now we are also trying to send Bitcoin to the address that we received it from, so the faucet address. It's good practice to return testnet coins or Signet coins back to the faucet. Once you've stopped using them, it allows other people to receive those test coins. So this was our attempt to send Signet Bitcoin that we control back to an address that the Signet faucet controls. So we'll try this again. Previously it was giving us an insufficient funds error message. Let's see what it does now. And we can see that a transaction was submitted to the mempool for relay in antibug.log, and it's also given us a transaction ID. So we'll copy and paste that transaction ID, and we'll put that into mempool.space, and we can see that mempool.space has also received, the Signet node of mempool.space is also received and aware of this transaction. So unconfirmed, but on mempool.space. So yeah, a few errors along the way. I think this is typical when you're getting used to using the command line interface. That Signet flag, you can often forget to do that Signet flag. You can put Signet into a config file so that you don't have to keep doing that Signet flag. But if you're running, say, a Signet node in parallel with mainnet, perhaps you'll want to have to manually put that Signet flag in every time, just in case you don't accidentally start doing commands on mainnet when you think you're on Signet, etc. So perhaps you'll choose actually to just get those error messages and have to retype those commands and put the Signet flag in if you forget it. So yeah, we've received Signet to our Bitcoin Core wallet, and we've successfully constructed and broadcast a transaction from our Signet Bitcoin Core wallet.